Hey everybody, welcome to the email marketing speed learning webinar. My name is Hassan and I'll be taking you through the next 30 minutes of how you can create email marketing strategies like a pro. What to expect from today? So three main points that we want to take away. Number one, I want to convince you that email marketing is not dead. Contrary to what a lot of people think, there are still things that you can do in email marketing to make it your most important acquisition channel. Number two, what I want to do is share five email marketing tips with you. And these tips range from building your email list down to all the way to automating your email processes. And number three, I want to talk to you about future of emails, and towards the end, we do a little bit of question answers, and that's when we move. So number one, email is not dead, and I have numbers to prove my point. Email is still pretty much very big. We have almost 4 billion email users all around the world who are spending around 293 billion emails per day. So that's a lot of numbers, right? And obviously numbers doesn't say anything about quality, but I have numbers about quality as well. So 66% of consumers purchased as a direct result of email, right? So 66% is a pretty solid number. That means you can really get users to take the action you want them to take. But that's not it. What we've seen through research is that there is a 12% higher customer lifetime value of your email subscriber customers, right? So people who you constantly keep them engaged, you keep telling them about new things and you reactivate them the moment they fall off the chain, right? So these are just a few numbers that shows you that email is big in terms of numbers, quantity, but it's also big in terms of quality. So definitely something that we should be taking seriously. Now what I want to jump right into, and this is going to take up majority of this webinar, is the email strategy tips, right? What are the things that you can do in order to get more effective email marketing campaigns in place? So tip number one is that think about providing value on your first touch point with your users, right? Rather than going up to them and asking them to sign up to an email list, not many people would do that, right? What you want to do is you want to start thinking about your persona. What is it that they like? What is it that they value? So that you can start providing that value to them and in exchange get the email addresses so that you can then keep on providing that value to them. And I have a few ideas, a few examples, and just want to share with you. So this is Shopify. So Shopify, in their case, their email so they understand that their persona who is setting up an e-commerce business, right? For them, this refund policy template is really important. Anybody who has e-commerce needs this template. So what they do is, in order to get your email address, they offer this template for free because they know this first touch point will add value to their lives. And once they have been able to add that value, that's when they are able to nurture those leads better as well. Another example of this, it's a content marketing agency called Grow and Convert. And what they do is they have established this entire onboarding for people who are their potential clients. So what they do is they offer a 4-step course on content marketing because they understand that their persona is really interested in upskilling themselves. And through that 4-step process, they are able to really see who has joined that email marketing list and how, like, are they opening the emails? And that way they can also lead score so that they can focus on those leads, those email subscribers that are actively following their content as well. So that again comes from understanding about your persona. But one of the fan favorites here at GrowTribe is this tool. It's called Outgrow, and Outgrow is amazing because what you can do is you can create interactive content. And this is something that we see working in B2B, B2C really well, where you give people value, right? You start thinking about what kind of calculator, what kind of quiz can you create that is going to get your users excited, or give them some information. And all of this information is something that you already have. And in exchange, what people do is they give you their email addresses. So Outgrow, really cool tool. You will get that in the email tool list that I will share with you towards the end. one question that you may be thinking is, how do I start thinking about what my user would value in the first place? What kind of calculator I should create? So for that, what we use is this tool called Answer the Public. So Answer the Public, you put in any area that your business is related to, and it throws out all the different questions that people have asked around that area, right? And if people are asking questions on search, that obviously means it's something that they would value. So what you can do is you can create a calculator that addresses that question for them. So definitely check this out as well. Do a quick research on your industry and see how that goes. Tip number 2, create segments, right? So this I can't emphasize enough because a lot of companies that we work with, we realize that they have this one email newsletter and they think that that's what the email strategy is about. No, you will have multiple segments based on different criteria, right? But essentially what we want is we want this spray and pray approach to completely end when you're looking at email marketing. Because you must have noticed if your open rates are going down, if your unsubscribe rates are going up, and if your spam reports are going up, that means you are not segmenting your lists enough. Research has shown time and again that you can create different segments based on products they have purchased in the past, based on their geographic location, based on weather, age group, average order size, last order data. Like you can find all of this information, all of this data on people, and you can create certain segments accordingly. And then research also goes on to show this. So this is MailChimp, and what they have done is they have sampled 2,000 MailChimp users, and they looked at 11,000 segmented campaigns, and they realized that all of these important metrics that are really crucial in email marketing, they all had a higher like success criteria over here in terms of email marketing. So the open rate was higher, the unique opens were higher, the click rates, bounce rate, all of these things were really high as compared to non-segmented emails. So when you are segmenting, there are a few ideas that I want to throw your way. Number one, what you can do is you can segment based on persona. On your persona's personality, right? And we all have customers and they all have different kinds of personalities. So when you are going to go out there, you want to work with a tool like Crystal Knows. And I actually want to demonstrate this while I'm discussing this. So if people who are here and they want to understand how this tool can work, why don't you write your name in the chat? The first name that I see, I'll do a quick demonstration on your LinkedIn profile. Hopefully you have an active LinkedIn profile. That's my only criteria. So I see Edwin Walker, who has taken the cake. So what we want to do, Edwin, I'm going to risk Edwin Walker. I'm guessing this is you. Right, so essentially what I do is I open your profile over here. Hi, Edwin. It takes a second. And you view the personality. So what you can do with this is you can automate this entire process. The moment somebody signs up to your email list, you can do a quick check if that name is available. It might be a laborious task if you're doing this physically, but you can start understanding the different types of personas out there. But what this tool does is it tells you everything about Edwin, which he might not want us to know. Like what drives him, what motivates him, what stresses him out. But more than that, what it gives is it gives you advice. So for instance, if you ever want to create an email campaign so I need to email Edwin to make a sales pitch, right? To make a first impression. So what you can do is you can actually discuss pricing. So it will actually tell you what kind of subjects you should write and what should be the call to action in that email. And it does this through artificial intelligence. It sees all this information on Edwin's profile and it puts Edwin in a box. Edwin, I'm not sure if you got a chance to read this, but you are a mild driver who tends to be results focused and likely to thrive in fast-paced environment that encourages risk. I hope this was you. But essentially what you want to do is you want to start putting your personas in different boxes. This tool is called Crystal Knows for the questions that I'm getting on the chat. So this is Crystal Knows. I've shared the name of this tool later on, so don't worry about that. You will get that list if you fill out our feedback form. But start putting your personas in different boxes, right? And see what kind of personality assessment or what kind of language would connect to them based on their language. So that's one kind of segmentation that you can do. Number two is remember the Pirate Funnel. If you've attended any other webinar by GrowTribe, you will know that we keep coming back to this Pirate Funnel because this is literally the way we make growth happen. So essentially, you want to keep your Pirate Funnel in mind, right? These are step-by-step processes that your users go through before they become your customers, before they become your ambassadors, before they tell other people about you. Right? So there are different communication that you want to send them at every step, right? So you want to think about what is the right thing to start conversation with people, right? So what should I be talking to people about in terms of when they are at the awareness stage? What should I talk to them when I have their email address, right? And this is how you create these really beautiful nurture flows where you give them bite-sized information about your company and not everything in one go. So here at GrowTribe, what we do is our first email that we send out to people, it is mostly this, where we ask them to take a quiz, right? And this quiz gets them to understand that there is a problem, right? There is a skills gap, they want to close that skill gap. Second email then we send is more about the solution, right? So over here, you wait for 2-3 days and then you introduce your solution. How can you fill that skills gap? And then the third email is where you offer another solution. And this may be different for people who took the quiz. So you have different personas, so you can share different communications with them as well. And essentially your email flow would look like this, where you have different campaigns for each stage in your funnel. And then you tag people. The moment they take a certain action in campaign at acquisition level, you tag them so that they go on to campaign B. And this way you are essentially creating this entire growth engine through email that takes people along the entire journey until you get them to do what you want them to do for you. So this is what an example could look like. So Fab is this e-commerce company. So what they do is when somebody reaches activation, which is when they have added to their cart, they automatically send you an email, which is a reminder that you did not check out. So this is something that you want to do. So essentially what they're doing through this email is getting people to that next step, which is revenue in this case. Another kind of segmentation you can do is by looking at what kind of products or businesses your persona is interested in. You could have multiple products, you could have multiple businesses, right? So people who entered product A's workflow, you can put them on a separate email list. People who entered product B's workflow, you can create them on a separate email list for them as well and put them on a different kind of campaign. Another segment that you can create is based on how your user uses your product, right? You will always have a user like this who signed up to your service a year ago and does not remember doing it and knows nothing about you. And then you will have the nerd who knows everything about you. He attends all of, opens all of the emails, attends all of the webinars, right? Is on the pro plan. So you can't be sending both of these people the same email addresses, email campaigns. So what you want to do is you want to create certain segments for different kinds of users you have so that you can offer your solution accordingly, right? So if somebody who is an inactive user, you want to send them a reminder. But somebody who is a power user, you want to tell them about an advanced feature that they have, right? So this is how you take them on a very relevant email marketing journey. And then the last segment that I have is look at who is showing up on what blog post that you are doing. And based on that, you can put them on an email list as well. So over here at GrowTribe, we've got blogs that are ranging from growth to data to strategy. So you can really see if somebody is reading a blog on strategy, that means that that's the topic that they're interested in. And that's the kind of newsletter that you want to send and share that way because they will get that relevant data. But essentially, it is all about understanding the different segments and trying them out, right? It's trying to see if, I hope my voice is still clear. If it's not, please let me know. But if it is, I'm still going to continue on. So essentially what you want to do is see where they are and then show them the right kind of information accordingly. Tip number 3, test each and every aspect of your email campaign, right? There is a lot that goes into your email marketing campaign. There's a subject line, there's a pre-header, there's a body copy, visuals, videos, offers. call to actions, landing page, frequency, right? So these are the things that you want to test out. And in each email communication that you send out, maybe you can test one of these things. What is the best time to send your email, right? And there's no one global universal best time. The best time that is for your persona. So you need to see when do they sit down and open your email campaigns. So test sending times, test subject lines, test visuals and copies, call to actions. You will get slides so you can see what all you can measure. But essentially, these are the metrics that you want to keep your eye on. Whenever you get an uplift, that's when you take it one step further. Another kind of test that you can do, and this is also a fan favorite here at GrowTribe, is a 5-second test. Right? So 5-second test is essentially when you do a first impression test on your email. Are people able to understand what are you trying to sell in this particular email? Do they understand who you are? And so what you do is you show somebody your email for 5 seconds and you hear from them if they are able to answer the two most important questions, right? What is it that you're selling and what makes you special? If you are not able to answer them, that means that you need to make your emails more clear. And as you can imagine, we all do this when we're in our inbox, we give literally emails 1 second, 2 seconds before we decide to delete or report them to spam. So that clarity in the first impression is super important that I want you to be thinking about as well. Another experiment that we have been doing, a kind of test that we have been doing is that of using videos in our emails, right? So embedding videos, which you can't really embed. So what we do is we put an image and put this play button on top of it. So when you click on it, it takes you to a product video. And these videos, they work really well. Research has been done that shows that they have 2 to 3 times more click-through rates because people like to be entertained, right? So give them that content. When you're using images, know what kind of images work, because here at GrowTribe, what we realized through a lot of testing was that these emails, the ones that we put our heart and soul into designing, they did not convert the way we thought it would, right? The click rate in this case was 4.3%, but the click rate in a simple email with a white background with plain text, we got an 8.7% click rate over here as well. So don't be over creative. Test everything out when you're doing this particular test as well. And then tip number 4 is research some email tactics. There are a certain kind, yes, I'm sorry, Floor, if you can reconnect, maybe I think the problem is just at your end. So tip number 4, I want you guys to also go out there and start looking at a few hacks, right? I will share a few hacks with you, but this is literally a lot of the hacks that work for me are not going to work for you. But one hack that is universally applicable is this one over here. When people don't open your email, right, you can create a segment for them and you can actually resend the same email that they did not open, but this time with a different subject letter. And we realized that that way, by reusing all the old content you have, you are really able to get the most out of all the effort that you're putting in your email marketing campaign. These guys, they did it, and they had 96,000 people who did not even open their email the first time they sent them. And they were able to get 30% of them to open just by reusing the same content that they have and changing the subject line on that. So that could be a hack that you could use. Another hack that you could use is use these lead gen forms. These are pre-filled forms on LinkedIn and Facebook. And essentially what you do is you offer them something in an ad, right? And in return, what you get is you get people to fill up a form, which is really low friction. And that way you can get more more signups to your email list because you've reduced that friction over there. Another hack that works really well is that you should put your social channels over here in your email, because that makes you more of a legitimized business, right? So people take you more seriously. So we have seen, research has shown that there's a 150% increase in click rates when you do add these social icons over there. I'm a big fan of behavioral psychology. So there are behavioral psychological principles, principles like urgency, or principles like creating a sense of exclusivity. If you do that in your subject, so for instance, if you read this one, now's your chance, half price, forever ends tomorrow, right? This creates a sense of urgency. And if you are able to do that, you will get better open rates as well, because that behavioral psychological principle applies to anybody and everybody no matter where they are, no matter what persona, no matter B2B, no matter B2C, no matter online, offline, like these psychological principles hold true for everybody. And one more case one more study that this was again done by MailChimp as well. They looked at the top 60 to 87% open rates and the worst, which were 1 to 14% open rates. And they tried to evaluate what's different between them. And what they realized was that email marketing does not work when you try to sell people something, right? So if you have a subject line which is very salesy, you will not get good open rates. But if you think about personalization in your email subjects, right? And you can personalize in most of these email tools that you're using, MailChimp. So what that allows you to do is, it helps you to create more relevant subjects, but also more impactful ones where people don't think they would have to give you something if they open that email, but they would get something of value instead. When you are writing subjects, another hack that you can use is most of these tools, what they use is they have these subject line writing options, right? So you put in certain keywords about your email and it will show you, so this is MailChimp, and it actually shows you suggested words that you can use in your subject line. So definitely make use of these features that most of these email tools have. It can help you identify more impactful subject lines for your emails. One more hack that I have for you is that ask people to take a certain action, right? If you are a small business, you can actually put this line here, something like this. Reply to me and I will read and respond to every email you get. And what that does is you get those initial power users who are actively engaged and you want to nurture them, right? These power users are really important for businesses who are just starting up. It's not about the number of sales that you do at that point. It's about the number of first few customers you are able to get who are in love with you. Because these are the people that you can do a product market fit test with them. You can build your personas around them. You can research and get more user insights based on these people as well. So definitely, if you're starting off, put such a call to action in an email where you're asking for nothing but just a response. And no, Sylvia, I would not count this as an unethical practice because we are actually asking them to reply. Not everybody will reply, but people who want to learn more about you, people who want to work with you, your power users, your fan, your nerds, right? Those people will reply to you, and that's where you start talking to them with regards to this as well. So if they have already opted in, that's when you can ask them to take a certain action for you so that you can separate the non-serious ones from the serious power users that you have. If you are very impatient and you don't have an email list and you want to start using the power of email marketing, you can actually look for newsletters that are relevant in your industry as well. Right? You can go out there and see, so for instance, if you were targeting moms, there is this newsletter for them where you can choose what kind of ads you want to create in their existing newsletter, which they probably send to 20, 30,000 people, right? And essentially what you can do is you can choose what type of, do you want an article, do you want the entire newsletter to be featured around you? And that way you can test if email marketing is something that could potentially work for you. If it does, that's when you start putting in more effort and more resources behind email marketing. And now what I want to do is I want to share 4, 5, 6 tools that we use in our email marketing campaigns all the time. So number one is this one. It's called MailCharts. It's a beautiful tool. What you do is you put in certain brands or you can put in different industries and it tells you different things about that particular industry, right? What is the kind of words they use in subjects? And what is the frequency of them sending emails? What kind of call to actions do they have? So based on this, you can set certain benchmarks for yourself so that when you do start experimenting, you know exactly what are the numbers you should be hitting through your email marketing efforts. Another app that we find really cool is this one. It's called Hemingway app. And what this does is it allows you to write more impactful emails, right? The body copy, which is really important. You have to use strong, impactful, bold, clear sentences. So you can use this artificial intelligence. It's like next level Grammarly, but not for grammar, but for sentence flow and structure. Definitely something that you should try out. If you don't want to step out of your Gmails, I know a lot of people who want to stay within Gmail and create email marketing campaigns from there. You can use this tool. It's called Gmass, and it's a Chrome extension. So you integrate this particular thing within your Gmail account. So you can create personalized email campaigns, and that way you're more familiar with the interface over here. One second last tool that I want to share with you is this one. It's called Really Good Emails. So as the name suggests, it's a collection of all these really pretty and impactful emails that have worked in the past. So if you are just starting off with your email marketing campaign, you can maybe come here and learn some of the best practices, right? What are the kind of words, visuals, colors that people are using in their particular email marketing campaigns. And then finally, if you are the other end of the extreme where you have a very sophisticated email flow, that means that you really need to be thinking about the cost of each email that you send. Right? So what you want to use is a tool like Neverbounce to clean your email list, because you will have a lot of fake emails out there. And for each email that you're sending, you are actually paying money for that as well. Right? So you don't want to do that. So use a tool like Neverbounce to share this with you, to clean up your email list. And then last tip is automate and chill, right? Automation, when you do this through email marketing, is something that is really powerful. It has really high click rates. So there was a research done that 152% of automated emails, they get you a better click rates. And why is that? Because when you are automating, you are thinking not just about that one moment, you are thinking about that entire flow. Right? So that strategy, when you put that in place and you automate it, you empathize with your users and you think what is the information that they want to know, and you give them that information just at that right time. Right? So a lot of these tools, MailChimp, for instance, we use that for, we use HubSpot and MailChimp for our email list, and they all have automation that you can do. So you can set certain gaps between the emails that you're sending. Whenever somebody subscribes to your email list, you can send them a welcome email. 2 days later, you can send them another email, right? But think it through, right? Test it out first before automating. Automation comes after you have tested things out and you want to scale it up. Right? So it's very easy to create automation. Most of these tools have so many resources. They take you each and every step. So if you can put in that time, trust me, you would be able to learn. And if you want to go beyond and across tools, if you've got too many different tools and you want to automate that entire process, especially if you want to do lead scoring, right? If you want to monitor the behavior of people and assign them a score based on their behavior or their demographics, you can actually use this tool. It's called Autopilot. It is free to try. So go out there, you can create these workflows of lead generation and lead scoring and see what kind of automation would work. These were all the 5 tips that I have for you. What I want you guys to do, so last, I want to share with you what is and where is this email marketing strategy going. So there are a lot of companies that are now working with interactive emails, right? And what this will do eventually is that it can eliminate the need for a landing page. You don't have that concept of click rates anymore because you stay within the email and you take whatever action that you require out of your people at that point in time. Interactivity is the way we're going. It's not that easy right now. You need a certain level of coding skills in order to create interactive emails. But what I foresee, and I'm keeping my eyes on it as well, is if we can get a tool that can democratize this for us. Having said that, that brings me towards the end of my email marketing webinar that I designed for you guys. There is a link over here. It's grow.ac/15 December. And what you can do is you can get a recording of this webinar so that you can watch it at a later point in time. Plus, you can also get this email marketing tools tracker so that you can better keep in touch. So you can go out there and start experimenting with these tools as well. Goodbye for now. I hope you have a good day and